First time I failed was.
So if you're out there trying to build an audience online, you know the feeling. You're fighting this rising tide of just generic, AI-generated noise. It's everywhere. So the big question is, how do you actually stand out? Well, the secret lies in something we're calling the authenticity premium. Let's break down exactly what that means.
Okay, first things first, let's put a name to the enemy. You have absolutely seen this stuff on platforms like LinkedIn. It's the style of content that just feels soulless, right? It's what one source calls AI slop.
You know this phrase. I mean, we've all read it 1,000 times. It's that classic corporate jargon opener that tries to sound super professional, but in reality it says absolutely nothing. It's a huge red flag, basically screaming that whatever comes next is probably going to be generic and totally forgettable.
And here's the thing. This isn't just about bots, not at all. Real people write this kind of stuff all the time, usually because they're trying to sound professional. But look, without a genuine human voice, without a real, perspective, it's just a word salad of buzzwords that we've all learned to just scroll right past.
So what's the solution here? Well, the good news is that the platforms themselves are starting to evolve. They're actually beginning to reward a totally different kind of content, and that's creating what's being called the authenticity premium. It's basically a whole new set of rules for a new era of creating stuff online.
And what's driving this big shift is a new metric, the depth score. Now this goes way beyond simple likes and reactions. It's all about measuring real, meaningful engagement. How long are people actually sticking around to read what you wrote? Are they saving it for later? Are the comments sparking a real conversation? This right here is a complete game changer.
And you can really see the shift laid out here. The old world on the left was all about chasing virality, racking up those raw reactions. But the new world on the right is about earning depth. It values the dwell time of one thoughtful reader way more than 1,000 mindless likes. A single meaningful comment is now worth more than 100 generic great post comments.
And the results, they're already staggering. Posts that are thoughtful, that are backed by real experience, they're seeing 5 to 8 times more reach than that shallow, generic content. 5 to 8 times. This isn't just some tiny algorithm tweak, it's a massive, fundamental change in what actually works.
All right, enough theory, let's see this thing in action. We're gonna quickly break down a real post that completely nails this approach. It earned its authenticity premium by talking about, well, garbage.
Check out this hook. Instead of some boring title, it kicks off with this bold, contrarian claim that immediately makes you slam on the brakes and think, wait, what? Garbage?
So why does this hook work so well? Well, for starters, it completely subverts your expectations. It challenges that common idea that the only innovation that matters is flashy tech. And it creates this instant knowledge gap. It makes you feel like the writer knows something you don't, and now you have to find out what it is.
And right after that killer hook, it doesn't leave you hanging. It immediately delivers the proof. See, this isn't just a clever thought experiment. It's grounded in a specific, real-world example with a real company, a real technology, and some seriously hard numbers.
And these specifics, that's what builds trust. $91 million is a fact. 400+ facilities shows you this is real scale. And by championing an unsexy industry like recycling, the author just reinforces their unique perspective and proves they know what they're talking about.
And then, boom, the pivot. The post brilliantly shifts from telling you a story to giving you a new way to think, a direct challenge that's like a call to action for your brain.
And this is what makes the content so valuable. It's not just entertainment, it's a tool. It empowers you, the reader, with a strategic question you can take and apply to your own world. That is the kind of stuff that gets saved and shared, which of course boosts that all-important depth score.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, great, but how do I actually do this? Let's get into the playbook. We're gonna break this down into a repeatable framework you can start using like today.
All right, here are the 4 big principles. First, just like we saw with the garbage post, lead with a common mistake or a controversial idea. It just cuts right through the noise. Second, and this is huge, write like you actually talk. Ditch the corporate jargon. A great little test is to read your draft out loud. If it sounds weird and robotic, rewrite it. Third, use rhythm and white space. I'm talking short sentences, one-line paragraphs. It makes your writing breathable and way easier to read on a phone. And finally, number 4, make it actionable. Don't just point something out. Give your reader a tool, a question, a new way of thinking they can use. That's what earns the save. Now, beyond all these tactics, there's a
just about gaming an algorithm. It's about understanding what your ultimate competitive advantage is in a world that's getting flooded with AI.
And this right here is the whole ball. An AI can summarize it all. It can mimic a tone for you. But what it can't do is replicate your unique experiences, your hard-won lessons, your specific way of connecting two seemingly unrelated ideas. Your personal story is the strategy. It's the one thing you know.
I love this book from the source material because it totally reframes the entire conversation about AI. The goal isn't for technology to replace you. It's a tool that can free you up to do what only you can do. Share your unique human insights. Technology should restore